Is it possible that a sentence spoken in a soft tone by Jungkook could change the way millions of people see Jimin in a matter of seconds? That's what happened in a Weverse live broadcast that looked like a casual session, but ended with the atmosphere freezing and a spark of emotion in the eyes of the fans who watched. Jungkook, who has been known to keep his distance from controversies and has always refrained from talking about the private lives of his fellow BTS members, said something that made ARMY silent that night, froze, and began to ask, what exactly is going on between Jungkook and Jimin? The live broadcast initially began with a light atmosphere. Jungkook sat in a room with soft lighting, wearing a dark hoodie, occasionally sipping a drink and staring at the screen with a familiar smile. Fans flooded the comments with questions, song requests, and wishes for her to stay healthy. But when someone asked about Jimin, who had recently disappeared from public view and missed several important events, Jungkook was silent for more than 8 seconds. 8 seconds of silence. No words.
No smiles.
No sound. Then he took a breath, looked down, and said quietly, I still don't know what to say about Jimin, but you'll understand later. Instantly, the comments exploded. Someone wrote, why does it sound like something serious? Another said, please don't make me worry. But Jungkook did not continue. He shifted the topic, and for the rest of the broadcast, he did not mention Jimin's name again. Silence is louder than 1,000 words. On Twitter, Weverse, and TikTok, ARMY quickly captured the moment. The 14-second video was replayed millions of times, analyzed word for word, until Jungkook's eye movements were noticed. Some fans felt that her tone reflected a poignancy that was stored for too long. Others expressed concern that something had changed in the dynamics of the group. Many of them try to find clues, and it doesn't take long for another name to surface. Bang Si-Hyuk. A few hours after Jungkook's broadcast, an unexpected report surfaced in the South Korean fan community. In a closed-door interview with one of the senior producers at HYBE, it was mentioned that Bang Si-Hyuk, the label's founder and the man known as BTS's spiritual father, had expressed his concerns about Jimin. His words were loud, direct, and piercing. He can't be controlled. The sentence, which was spread through screenshots and reshared by large fanbase accounts, caused a public uproar. In the context of South Korea's entertainment world that upholds harmony, discipline, and obedience, such expressions can mean many things. Is it about management? Personal conflict? Or maybe the internal pressure that so far only those in BTS's inner circle know about? An internal source who spoke to Korean media said that tensions between Jimin and the management had risen since the end of last year. Jimin began to often cancel rehearsals, question the direction of the music given, and even asked that the creative team be replaced in some individual projects. Meanwhile, she is also rumored to be more secretive to her fellow members, only being seen with Taeyong on a few private occasions. But the most striking thing was Jimin's absence from the group's training session ahead of the song camp in the United States. Jungkook, who is usually very careful about talking about things like this, seems to keep more than he says. One of the moments that fans are now revisiting is the online rebroadcast of their concert last year. There, as all the members were talking about the future of BTS, Jimin was seen turning to Jungkook and saying, "You're still going to be here, right?" Jungkook just looked at her and smiled without answering. Now, in the context of Jungkook's new statement, the moment felt like a puzzle piece that found its place. The ARMY was divided. Most reject the theory that there's conflict within the group, insisting that BTS has always been united and loyal. But others are beginning to show frustration. "If there really is a problem, they better be honest," wrote one Weverse user. "We've been with them for over a decade. We can accept the truth, as long as it is not silence." Compounding the situation, HYBE has yet to issue any statement. There was no clarification from Bang Si-Hyuk, no response from Jimin. Meanwhile, news leaked from Jimin's immediate environment stated that he was undergoing a private retreat abroad, away from the public spotlight, and even reportedly could not be contacted directly by other BTS members for some time. This situation became even more complicated when it became known that BTS would be holding a live broadcast as a full group in the near future. This will be their first time performing together after Jungkook issued the ambiguous statement. Fans hoped it would be a moment of healing, or at least disclosure, but many were also anxious. Will Jimin be present? And if so, will the tension be felt? In a K-pop community that often masks internal conflicts for the sake of maintaining an image, moments like this are very rare. ARMY, known as the most loyal and critical fandom, now stands between two poles. Wait for an answer or invent a narrative yourself. One of BTS's former stylist staff even spoke anonymously on an online forum. He said that Jimin is indeed a very sensitive, creative figure, but sometimes difficult to direct. He loved art very much, but sometimes his emotions beat logic. It wasn't a mistake. It just means he's human. And perhaps, amid BTS's greatness as global icons, the statement is an important reminder. They remain human. They're tired. They differ from each other. They have injuries that cannot always be shown on stage. Jungkook's words that night weren't just about Jimin. It's about the chaos that slowly unfolds behind the scenes. About time-tested relationships. About pressure became a symbol of the world at a young age. And about how one sentence, one pause of breath, can reveal everything. Now, all eyes are on BTS's upcoming comeback. The album, which is planned for release next spring, is becoming more than just a musical work. It will be a statement. Is BTS still solid? Have they solved whatever is going on behind the scenes? Are they still able to stand as seven, or have they cracked in silence? And when that moment comes, fans will remember one moment in Weverse, one low-key sentence from Jungkook, and one unspoken truth. Maybe not because they want to know gossip, but because they love these 7 people too deeply to ignore the pain they hide. If BTS is light, then perhaps, like even the brightest stars, they also have a dark side. And now, that side is slowly starting to show. However, it is very important to emphasize that the above news is not true and has no factual basis that can be verified. The story about Jungkook saying shocking words about Jimin, as well as the claim that Bang Si-Hyuk said Jimin couldn't be controlled, is purely speculation and narrative fiction, not journalistic reporting based on official statements or real interviews. There is no evidence to support that Jungkook has ever said anything referring to internal conflict or putting Jimin in a bad light publicly or privately. On the contrary, all interactions recorded and documented between them show a strong bond, mutual respect, and brotherhood they've built over more than a decade together in BTS. Likewise, the quote claiming Bang Si-Hyuk said Jimin is someone who can't be controlled has no foundation. To this day, there is no public statement, official interview, or internal HYBE documentation showing that such a comment was ever made. In fact, Bang Si-Hyuk is well known for deeply respecting all BTS members as independent artists, each with their own unique creative power. It's essential for fans and the general public to always verify information circulating online, especially if the content seems controversial or overly sensational. Spreading false information not only damages the reputation of the artists, but also creates unnecessary tension among fans. BTS has always stood as a symbol of solidarity, hard work, and dedication, not drama or fabricated conflict.